uprising adjourned till tomorrow. Home Ministry issues Gazette notification declaring Dhaka Cantonment's MES building number 54 a temporary prison. Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami wants a referendum in November before 13th national elections, says party's Naib Amir after talks with Chief Election Commissioner. Nationwide typhoid vaccination program continues. 5 crore children and adolescents to be immunized in month-long campaign. Final selection round of Notun Kuri begins tomorrow and to continue till October the 21st. Prisoner exchange begins in Gaza. World leaders, including Trump, meet in Egypt for peace talks to finalize a ceasefire. Trio wins Economics Nobel Prize for research on impact
of a technological innovation on sustainable economic growth. And in Visakhapatnam, South Africa batting with a victory target of 233 against Bangladesh in Women's ODI World Cup. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to News at 10. I'm Mahmoud Rahman. Those were the headlines. Let's move on now to the details. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus has placed 6 proposals for a complete transformation of the global food and economic systems to end hunger. He made this proposal while delivering his keynote speech at the grand opening of the World Food Forum flagship event at FAO headquarters in Rome, Italy this afternoon. Professor Yunus called for breaking the hunger conflict cycle, stop the wars, start the dialogue, and ensure food access in conflict zones. The chief advisor said the cause of hunger is not scarcity, but the failure of the economic structure we have created. Stating that social business is the way forward, the chief advisor said, we must build a social business fund. Professor Yunus said the ultimate goal is to create a 3-0 world. He called on everyone to work together to build a 3-0 world. At the World Food Forum, the chief advisor reiterated the plan to hold national elections in Bangladesh next February.
And people's power. But let us speak the truth very clearly. Hunger is not caused by scarcity. It is caused by the failure of the economic framework that we have designed. We must change the system. Let me propose a few steps. Break the hunger, conflict cycle, stop the wars, start the dialogue, ensure food access in conflict zones. Keep the promises, fulfill the SDG finance commitments, take climate action seriously, and help the most vulnerable build resilience. Create regional food banks to manage shocks and stabilize supply chains. Create and support local entrepreneurs, particularly youth entrepreneurs, with finance, infrastructure, and global partnership. End export bans. Trade rules must support food security, not undermine it. Ensure access to and development of technology and innovation, especially for the global south and to the rural youth, both boys and girls. But we must go deeper. We must rethink the entire economic system. The old way, which is based on profit-maximizing business, has left billions behind. We need to add a new kind of business. We call it social business, a business without personal profit. that solves problems, not creates them, by creating sustainable businesses. Many social businesses are growing around the world, but without any policy support, without any institutional recognition. We must change that. Ultimate objective is to create a world of 3 zeros. A world with zero wealth concentration to end poverty. You cannot end poverty with allowing wealth concentration in a limitless way. Zero unemployment by replacing it with entrepreneurship for all. Zero net carbon emissions. This is not a dream. It's a necessity. The only way to save the world.
Earlier, Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus was given a warm reception upon his arrival at the FAO headquarters. FAO Director General Gudong Yu welcomed the Chief Advisor. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus and Brazil President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva are among the global leaders to visit the offices of Global Alliance after the plenary session of World Food Forum at FAO headquarters in Rome today. Meanwhile, Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus held a meeting with President of Brazil Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva on the sidelines of World Food Forum. The meeting was held at the Food and Agricultural Organization FAO headquarters in Rome, Italy. Besides Mayor of Rome, Roberto Gualtieri meets Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus in Rome. The second day of arguments is underway in the case filed over crimes against humanity during the July movement against Sheikh Hasina and 2 others. The arguments began this morning at International Crimes Tribunal 1, headed by Justice Ghulam Murtaza Mojumdar. On the second day, Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajul Islam presented the arguments on behalf of the prosecution. During the hearing, the Chief Prosecutor referred to the testimonies of several witnesses out of the 54 recorded over 28 days and presented newspaper excerpts describing incidents of killings and torture that occurred during the July movement. In addition, a video clip showing the brutal killing of a young man named Ridoy by police gunfire in Konabari, Ghazipur, during the July movement was presented before the tribunal. As of the latest update, the prosecution's arguments were still ongoing. After the prosecution concludes, the state-appointed defense counsel for Sheikh Hasina will present arguments on her behalf. Finally, the prosecution will have an opportunity to respond in rebuttal. Once the arguments are completed, the case will move to the verdict stage. Earlier, after 28 working days, the tribunal collected witness testimonies on October the 8th with the cross-examination of Investigation Officer Mohammed Alamgir, the 54th and final witness in the case. Apart from Sheikh Hasina, the other 2 accused in this case are former Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and former IGP Chaudhry Abdullah Al-Mamun, who has become a prosecution witness. Meanwhile, the International Crimes Tribunal 2 has scheduled October the 21st for the next witness hearing in the murder case of Abu Said, the first martyr of the July mass uprising. The government has declared a building inside Dhaka cantonment as a temporary jail. A notification in this regard was issued last Sunday. Later on Monday, the Ministry of Home Affairs Prisons 1 branch confirmed the announcement. Deputy Secretary of the Ministry, Mohammed Hafiz Al-Assad, signed the Gazette following the order of the President of the Republic. The Gazette also stated that the decision was made with the approval of the relevant authorities and would take immediate effect. Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami's Naib Amir Dr. Syed Abdullah Mohammad Tahir has proposed that the Election Commission hold a referendum in November this year before the 13th National Parliamentary election. He made the statement to journalists after a meeting with Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasiruddin at the Election Commission office in Agargaon today. A 5-member delegation of Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami attended the meeting, where 4 election commissioners and the senior secretary of the commission took part in the meeting. During the meeting, Jamaat's Naib Amir also demanded that the use of national ID cards be made mandatory in the upcoming national election to prevent fake voting. In addition, he called for incorporating the July Charter into the Constitution. The nationwide typhoid vaccination campaign is continuing for the second day across Bangladesh. Nearly 50 million children aged between 9 months and under 15 years are being administered the typhoid conjugate vaccine, which is a safe and effective vaccine that provides over 85% protection against typhoid. Crowds of children accompanied by their parents were seen at various schools and hospitals to receive the vaccine. The school-based vaccine program will continue until October the 30th at schools, madrasas and temporary centres under both government and private initiatives. Children who do not attend school or live on the streets will also be able to receive the vaccine until November the 13th under this campaign. So far, over 16.8 million children have been registered for vaccination. However, birth certificates or prior registration are not mandatory. Every eligible child will be vaccinated and protected. Health experts say that this initiative will not only help prevent typhoid, but also significantly improve the overall health standards of children across the country. Health advisor Noor Jahan Begum said cancer patients suffer devastating, deep psychological, physical, social and financial damage, and that is why more awareness is needed in cancer prevention. The advisor was addressing an event organized to raise awareness about breast cancer at the National Institute for Burn and Plastic Surgery in the capital. Among others, Director General of the Health Directorate, Professor Dr. Abu Jafar, addressed on the occasion. The speakers in the session opined breast cancer is a preventable disease. This disease is preventable if detected at an early stage via screening. The experts urged women of the country to overcome shame and fear and go for routine screening. Religious Affairs Advisor AFM Khalid Hussain has said the Saudi Arabian Ministry of Hajj and Umrah Affairs has released around 38 crore taka belonging to Bangladesh Hajj agencies. He shared the information while speaking at a press briefing organized at the conference hall of the ministry at Blue Economy. The project will have important contribution to the economy of the country. Through this project, immense possibilities will emerge energy and tourism, which will also contribute in creating a milestone in economic growth. Authorities concerned said and effective plan and materialization is needed to take advantage of the seaport. The final screening session of the program Notun Kuri begins tomorrow. This session will continue till the 21st of October. A festive and enthusiastic atmosphere aims to recognize the best children artists across various fields of culture. All members had grand success. The top 5 performers in each category from the divisional level competition will qualify for the final round. However, if multiple participants share the same score within the top 5 bracket, more than to compete in the final round. Said that if the party wins the upcoming national election with the people's mandate, it will create employment for 4 crore unemployed. With a delegation from the Christian community at the BNP chairperson. On now to international news. Backed in Israel after more Israeli hospitals. The prisoner's media office said 154 Palestinian detainees freed under the